My name's Alex Moss. I live in Eagle, Wisconsin.
My name is Andy Smedegard, and I am from Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
And we are competing in One Lap of America this year in this green S2000, known as SuperK.
This started life as a 2006 Honda S2000. First thing we did was take out the F motor and put a K24 in. After we did the K-Series swap, we added a turbo, giving it some boost, so it's making around 450 wheel horse. Then we mated a BMW 7-speed dual clutch transmission and fed that through a Ford Explorer rear diff. So it's kind of a bastard car.
This will be my second One Lap of America. I did it in 2019. 2020 they didn't have a one lap because of COVID, and now in 2021 we're back for my second try at it.
I started doing one lap about, was it 5 years ago, with the RS guys. We ran an Evo for the first few years. Our first 2 years we did really well. We actually did a third place finish overall our first year, and then our second year we actually did a second place finish overall. And then I think we did 2 more years actually, but suffered one time an engine failure and then the other time a clutch failure, which took us out of the running for winning anything overall. And then the 5th year I did it was in this car when it was pretty basic, just a supercharged, you know, pretty stockish S2, just supercharged. And now I'm doing it again, 6th year. I lose sleep every night for the last, when did you sign up?
I signed up 2 years ago.
Yeah, I've been losing sleep ever since. It's definitely a car that keeps me up, especially when it's broken. I've pretty much given up trying to go to bed when it's broken. I just fix it right away because otherwise I won't sleep. So yeah, I won't get rest till after one lap.
The only time I'm going to lose sleep over this event is if it doesn't go all that well. So after the event is probably when I'll lose sleep over it. Yeah. The run up to it for me, the run up to it, there's not too much I can control. So, you know, I don't worry too much about the stuff I can't control. And so, yeah, it's only if I do badly or let the team down that I'm going to lose sleep, I think. So the biggest unknown we have with this car is the transmission this year. We've put a BMW dual clutch automatic transmission in it, which should give us really good performance and actually make the car more streetable than it was last time we competed. But it's a big unknown. It's a huge swap project.
I would bet we're gonna have some weird, dumb issue, probably trans related. That's obviously the biggest thing with this car we've been fighting for the last, I don't know when we started that swap, 4 or 5 months ago. And we haven't had a lot of test time. I shouldn't say that. We haven't had a lot of successful test time with the car. We've done several track days and encountered issues and stuff. Been fighting through things. It's still a very much like in develop swap, so it hasn't been proven by anyone. So
we've taken a car that's really a wonderful street car. I mean, I own 3 S2000s. This is by far the craziest one. It makes a wonderful street car, a lot of fun on the street. We've turned it into a really 100% race car for time attack competition.
Yeah, this car's, it's dumb. There's really nothing left factory about this. I mean, down to all the wiring and stuff. It's all completely changed. It's stupid. And we're gonna drive this 5,000 miles, beat the crap out of it every single day at a track.
We drive every day to a new track. We compete twice on that track, 3 time trials, or 3 lap time trials. That is just the fastest time wins. Pack your stuff up and then drive to the next track. The idea is that you have to compete in the same car that you're driving track to track. You have to compete on the same tires that you're driving track to track, and you're not allowed any support vehicles of any kind. So you have to pack everything into your car. So an S2000 where the trunk doesn't open is a perfect car for it.
When these cars finish, it's a super special day at the end of the event, like knowing what you built just went through that kind of torture. Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's why we do it. I'm not sure, I haven't really figured out why we do it, but I think that's why we do it. I question that often, but I still keep doing it.
Day 1, getting ready for the wet skid pad. So
Yeah, we're just here at the hotel. Because of COVID, we're rolling 8 cars at a time out to Tire Rack. They'll do the wet skid pad, come back here, load up, and head off for the Autocross. Wet skid bed is a big circle that is soaked with sprinklers, and you do 2 laps in one direction, turn around, do 2 laps in the other direction, and the fastest cumulative time wins, essentially.
It went pretty decent. Actually, better than usual. Usually we're mid-pack on the wet skid pad. We kind of suffer, especially last one lap when we ran this car on PS4Ss, which we thought was going to be a good rain tire, but they did horrible on this car. So this year we kind of just went with our gut and stuck to the tires we always run on this car, which is the Advanti 052. Probably not the best tire, maybe, but it's the one we know best with this car, and we're going to go with it. And we did pretty well on the wet skid bed so far, probably sitting, I guess, like 8th, 9th. Car died, couldn't get the start. Fucked with me all the way to at least corner. At least there's the right left. Dude, I got so fucked up I didn't even remember where I was. I coasted the first right to the left there. I'm like, fuck, what the hell am I doing? Go.
If that's your shitty run.
That was a super shitty run.
Good, you're doing just fine.
Is that really fastest?
Yeah.
No, second fastest.
Second fastest?
Yeah, Tomo went 40 plus 6.
Nice.
The thing at the beginning got me so flustered. I didn't know what gear to grab to. I'm like, I thought most of it was going to be in second, maybe third. It's like almost all third. Right now it's like a late blip on downshifts. Like it does the downshift. It's like if you downshifted without blipping throttle and you just dump the clutch back out, so you get a little bit of rear lock cuff, and then the blip happens. That last run was the time I've never noticed it that bad. It was like I'm downshifted, vroom. Like I'm already in the gear.
We don't have a working fuel gauge in this car, at least one that's trustworthy. Sometimes it seems to work, sometimes not. So we calculated our range. We think we got 110, 120 miles worth of range on a full tank. So we are here filling up. We are running E85 in this car, so we need to fill up with E85. Well, we didn't fill up in Indy, so the next E85 station is like 150 miles away. So we should have enough fuel on board to get us there, but yeah, we'll just have to not get lost. So day 2 here, and we are at Memphis International Raceway. Yeah, we made it. No major problems. Got into the hotel last night at around midnight, and then up this morning at 6 to head out to the track here.
All right, so Memphis is the track is actually built on part of a drag strip, and VHT runs the entire quarter mile. And VHT in the wet is probably worse than ice, than like pure ice. So they don't really run the road course when it's raining here. So what they're doing instead, because rain is coming, it's not currently raining, but it's going to come, and instead of getting halfway through and then having to cancel the last half, they're just gonna call it now. We're not doing the full road course. We're gonna do a standing start, point to point, kind of like an autocross. We're gonna start at the end of the actual quarter mile where the VHT stops. That's gonna be the start line. Standing start, continue through the lap, and it's going to finish right before the last corner that will then take you onto the drag strip. So it's going to be a short little timed run, but I think this kind of works in our favor. For one, we get rid of an entire long drag strip, which our car doesn't make crazy power, and we also don't have to worry about trans overheating. It's less abuse on the car. I do think the section after the drag strip, so it's a lot of flowing corners with a really quick juke. I think that'll favor the S2. So. Not so much just about that run, but the car feel. The downshift stuff seems spot on. Not one downshift upset the car. All the upshifts were great. The shifting that's a huge relief for me, because that's what I was struggling with on the autocross. Is the shifting stuff wasn't ideal. It would do a shift lock on the rear, so you downshift, hit the back end out. But no, everything felt awesome. That wasn't the qualifying?
Well, we don't know if it's one event for the whole day, or that was one event, and the next run will be one event.
Oh, I think that's one event. Hey, all right, point me to the car.
You working?
Working.
Are you filming that? Did you film it? Good. Point me to. Good. It comes off track. So it's the fastest time.
Do you remember that black wire?
Calls a guy to fix his car immediately. See you back there. Sounded like there's going to be a third event for this. He said the run was okay. Said he made a little mistake, but that's all.
Came into the S's a little too hot probably, and didn't have quite the braking grip I was hoping it would. But got it slowed down, kept it on track still, just probably ruined a little bit of the exit coming out of the S's. So I'm not sure how much I gave up. Before that, everything felt pretty good. But what's next? We're gonna go to Texas. Yeah, today here at Eagles Canyon, it's going to be the normal format, so that's a 3-lap, kind of like a burst 3-lap time, where you do a standing start, you do 3 full laps, and then the timer ends. So it's not the best of the 3, it's a full combined time of all 3 laps. Alex is going to be driving today.
Yeah, I've been here before, so I've got some experience. I know where the track goes.
Yesterday, where were we yesterday? Memphis.
Yesterday we were at Memphis. We were supposed to have 2 time trial events and then drag racing, but the rain came in and made the drag strip unusable. So we ended up doing 3 point-to-point high-speed autocross style runs, where you start from a point on the track and then drive to a different point on the track as fast as you can. So Annie managed to finish 1st in session 1, 4th in session 2, and then 4th again in session 3, which is leaving us 2nd overall now, which is pretty exciting. And the important part is that because session 1 was the qualifying session, we get to lead the grid out basically for the rest of the week. Being out front will give us the first run group, so we can run first, pack up first, hit the road first, and in theory get to the hotel mid-pack.
finish, but trans got hot, got stuck in fourth. So we'll see. We might do a fluid change. There's a shop up there at the hoist. It'd be easy to change fluid real quick. So I think he's gonna pull fourth right now. Yeah. So I think he's gonna pull fourth. Yet, right?
How are you fourth gear right now, but just sitting here?
It goes into what's called anti-stall, so as soon as the RPMs drop below a certain RPM, it'll disengage the clutches to stop it from stalling.
Okay.
Halfway through the second lap, it started being slow to shift, and then it just lapped in fourth gear. It was dusty as shit. Holy fuck.
They had like stuff where you clean up the oil spill up there.
Down the straight line, man, I wish I was stuck in fifth. And then through some of the tight stuff, I'm pretty happy I'm stuck in fourth.
Everything else okay?
Other than it being so slick, the first lap. The first lap, it was... The first lap, started driving the rain line.
Now we're getting... Everybody in that last pod beat all of us.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to put a little hole here.
The car ready for the...
Can I put a hole in the bumper?
awesome, man.
Badass.
Third place.
Trans was great.
Trans was fine. Trans was fine the whole time, but I was limiting gears, like every braking zone. Diff gets hot, fluid inside the diff expands, and then, so we've got it venting to a catch can in here, but apparently we must have filled the catch can, huh?
These diffs had very poor baffling inside, so it's not uncommon for oil to get shot out the breather. And
The rear diff?
The rear diff, yeah. They're not baffled well at all. So I just shot out some oil and made a little mess. Cleaned it up so we don't put our clothes in.
Track was awesome. Car behaved itself really well. I made a couple of mistakes, including a big slide through one of the kind of cresting corners, but didn't go off track, which was good. And yeah, did put in a respectable time. I think when I came off we were third in that session, which I'm okay with that. And yeah, should put us in good stead for the rest of the week. What's next? We're cleaning up a little bit, then we're getting packed up and heading to another state somewhere. Louisiana we're going to.
Neutral? It is a neutral, so we can push it.
Try, what, push further over?
No.
Back in.
Careful, don't go.
Is it alright if I stay today? Is it alright if I stay today?
Well, we didn't get very far, literally 6 feet out of the driveway from Eagles Canyon. Car lost all drive. Like, it would shift into gear, but would not go forward.
It just free rev.
Yep. We realized we were going the wrong way, so pulled in to turn around in this super steep alley. Went to turn around and it did the same thing again. Wouldn't go into gear. So after a lot of troubleshooting, probably 45 minutes of troubleshooting in the heat, we figured out it was the brake switch that had gone bad.
On the pedal, there's a switch that when you press the brakes, the switch opens, and that triggers the brake lights and stuff. Well, that also tells the GCU that you're on the brakes, which when you're on the brakes below a specific RPM, it goes into an anti-stall mode, and it will just free rev. That's what happened. It was very simple. Figured that out. Back on the road.
Yeah, back on the road. And then, but we were delayed enough that traffic was starting to build up. So rather than send us on the freeways, GPS sent us literally down through downtown Dallas. So we're in the middle lane of this 5-lane road.
Just getting into Dallas.
Just getting
at a
into
traffic
Dallas
light.
at a traffic light, yeah. And he goes to pull away, and the car stalls, and all our buttons on the keypad are completely unresponsive to try and get it started. So.
And the car will stall here and there.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon, but it just happened at the worst time. And then also our keypad is frozen, so we can't hit the starter or anything. It's just dead.
Yep.
So about
So
5-10 minutes of just turning things on and off. Cars clunking at us. We got it started.
Yeah, pulled into the art museum.
No, we continued on. It happened again. Another 5-10 minutes, blocking traffic, getting honked at. Finally got us to turn on, so we turn into this art museum little
drop-off
driveway,
area thing.
which we were getting hassled at for parking.
yeah, we were trying to reconfigure the keypad, or reconfigure the PDM so that buttons on the steering wheel could turn everything on and run the starter and stuff like that.
As a backup.
And while we're trying to do that, we're having trouble getting connected to the PDM, and the security guards coming in yelling at us saying we can't park there, and we're actually parked backwards, like we went in the exit as well. And so we're like, don't worry, we'll get out of here. Then she comes back 2 minutes later, you've really got to go. She was like, I'm really sorry, I'm just a security guard, I'm doing what they tell me, but you got to go. So like 2 minutes.
I'm
2
sure,
minutes.
I'm sure it doesn't look like conspicuous. You're on your laptop, like
Right.
we're outside this like major building.
So anyway, got that taken care of and got back on the road. But then it was all traffic. So we were behind, we were in traffic. The cooling mods we did to the trans was making the engine run a little hotter than we would like.
Yeah, especially when we weren't moving.
So
it started getting up to like a little over 200.
So we're running the interior fans, so that was all hot. No, keypad just started working again. And
Well-
we think it was heat related, and then in Louisiana we're going down the freeway and we're getting hit with like all this dust and stuff coming into the car.
In your eyes, mouth, hair, everything.
And it's like, it felt like hay coming in, or like fine bits of hay or grass. And it went on and on for like 50 miles, big clouds of the stuff. Every semi you would come up to, there'd be a big cloud of it. So anyway,
We have to have our windows down because we have zero air conditioning at all.
Yeah.
It's like 90-some degrees.
yeah, it can't even blow ambient air. You can only blow engine heated
Hot air.
air into the car. Anyway, turns out it was feed, and if you look behind the passenger seat, you can just see it just filled with stuff. So we got most of it cleaned out, but yeah, so we got a car full of feed.
What time did you get in?
3. I got in at 3.
Yeah, 2 we arrived, but then there's a couple things to fix on the car, so Andy wanted to work on those. Yeah, right around there. 3 hours of sleep. Alarm went off at 6.
Which is fine as long as we don't have more issues today,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
and compound it.
Now what are you doing today? Who's driving? Where are we?
NOLA. We're at New Orleans. I believe I'm driving today.
Just
Yeah, see what happens. I think car's ready.
didn't say anything yet.
Look good.
Did look good.
Felt pretty good. Splitter bent, but it was every braking zone.
Felt like fun.
I wasn't. I think Tom.
I think Tom probably had it.
It's just bent down. We're gonna put the support rods in. Car felt good otherwise. I was taking it easy on some of the brake zones because I didn't want this to like fly off. Well, I didn't want to damage it anymore. All right, so the race line on a racetrack becomes very polished over time. So in the wet, that race line becomes super slick. So sometimes you want to drive off the race line to get some grip where it's a little more coarser concrete and not as polished, so you can get a little more grip. So it's going to be definitely searching for the grip, and it could be different. One corner could be good doing it one way, and the next corner could be doing it the other way. That's better. splitter made a difference.
Yeah.
It's got so much more front end grip now. I could fly into those S's with hardly touching the brakes.
Yeah, it looked fast. Get some water.
Car felt real good.
Look good, man.
That damaged splitter, I do think, was causing some issues on the first session. I think it was taking away some front end bite. When I would brake dive, I could hear the thing flutter. And I think it was diving down and it was just reducing the efficiency. So it's really critical to have a splitter that's super stable, not like flexing and bending and stuff. So I think it helped. Car felt a lot better there. I probably drove better. Interesting with a little bit of the puddles in certain placements. You had to drive different lines, but overall I'm satisfied. We are at EMP, Atlanta Motorsports Park, and I'm going to be driving today. The track is kind of wet. I see them out there blowing stuff off, which would be cool. This track looks a lot of fun, lots of elevation. Kind of a short, tighter track with one really fast straightaway with sweeper in it. Never been here. I honestly didn't do as much studying as I probably should have for this track. It's kind of at the point like getting exhausted, and my bigger focus has just been looking after the car. So if I have to give up a second or two on track to make sure the car keeps running, but I have to. Yeah, I mean, obviously if the car's not running, we're not turning laps. So I'll give up a little bit of time, not knowing the track very well, to make sure that knowing the car is good to go. Last night's transit was much better than Texas. Mostly because it wasn't bloody hot. It wasn't like 95 degrees. We have the defroster set up to work, but we have no valve to like shut off the heat. So the heat is always going through the heater core, and there's always some air pressure going through the HVAC box and into the car. Even if we have the fan off, you're still getting some heat. So in the past, I'm from Texas, like we just had to deal with it. It's hot as fuck outside, plus the heat's on, windows are down. It's kind of miserable, and you're sweaty. Yesterday, the rain kind of sucked a little bit at first because everything's wet. And then you have to have the windows down, so you're getting a little wet. But as soon as that cold front came in from that storm, temps dropped like 15 degrees. It was like, oh, that's so nice. And we were able to actually run with the windows like halfway up last night, and the heater being, half on or whatever didn't bother us at all. Still got in around 2:30-ish. So we have to stop every 100 and some miles, like 100, basically every 100 miles we usually plan to stop, refuel, and lost an hour with the time zone change, plus the dinner. Yeah, it's a late night. Woke up this morning to start the car. Coolant temp wasn't even to ambient yet, it's like 110.
When you woke up this morning and you opened the door to the hotel, did you know which way to turn?
No, I did not know which way. Look left, right. Stop for a second. I'll just walk this way.
This did happen because I had the big car. Turn the right way, and I'm walking down the hall. And I'm like, turn around, and there's a fire exit sign. No, I'm going the right way. And last night, I was getting on the elevator, and some guy's like, "Y'all racing here?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to. What day is it?" "Yeah, we're going to Atlanta Motorsports Park." He's like, "Oh." And then, some reason I told him we're in New Orleans. He's like, "Well, that's a drive." I said, "Yeah, yesterday we're in Dallas." What?
Alright, buddy.
Fucking yeah. Got this.
This track has lots of blind stuff, blind corners.
Oh, blind. Okay.
Yeah, you like over a crest, like, I don't know where to be. Oh shit, need to be over here. A lot of gotcha stuff from watching videos, walking it and stuff. Like, you don't realize how much, like, just where the car needs to be placed going down a straightaway, how important that is, until you drive this and it's like, oh, it's blind there, I can't see it, and I need to make sure the car's here because there's a crest. And fun track, man.
Nice job.
That was
That looked fun.
it definitely a lot of fun. It I played it really safe. Like, I was just a few spots, like, there's at least 8 blind spots on the track where you can't see where you need to have the car.
Yeah.
So you need to like pick out reference points everywhere to know where the car should be.
Yeah.
And yeah, afternoon will be faster.
I want it to be so when someone says, "Oh, did you see the green S2000?" you knew which car it was.
Coming over here, that last turn though, so fun.
It's cool.
You just, oh fuck, it's so fast.
The first lap I turned in so late, and I was actually like out to the curbs. And then the last lap I was like already grabbed 5th and like really committed, and I never even got there.
I deadly stay away from any curving with paint. After I almost ripped it. You saw me, I was riding the scooter, just like in a straight, and all of a sudden, poof, I slipped out on the paint. I'm like, fucking A.
I forgot about that.
So I did not want to touch any paint.
The afternoon event is canceled, so eat some lunch, drive. So we're going to do parade laps, so we're going to head down. Maybe we can get a little extra sleep tonight. Maybe we can run linear. We'll see what happens. But I apologize, but the track did us a great favor by letting us run this morning, and I'm not going to abuse that.
They canceled last session because of sound. I guess we blew sound a bit the first session, so sound, yeah, too loud. So if they blow it again, I think the track gets fined. So he's just not going to run the next session, I guess. So now we're going to go to here somewhere. To the wall and back on it. It planted. Car felt great. Yeah, this week so far, its strong point is definitely the suspension and handling and light nimbleness, just grip. We have more grip than the other guys. We're down on power, but grip, making it all up there. I mean, it's cleared on the straights when you watch this car go, and the other cars, I mean, they got 20, 30 miles an hour on us down the straights. So all the time is in the corners with this car. So that's due to suspension, the aero, all that stuff, all working. It's getting more intense all the time, especially now, because it's like we have 2 days left. That's all we gotta do, 2 more tracks. Huh? I just want to finish. Just finish. He can place 10th if he wants. Get rolled to the finish at least. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Your heart calm down.
It's coming down. It can't like stop completely. It has to work its way.
Everybody walks. Swarms.
Brandon beat me too. Stupid power crack.
What did he get?
He beat me by like half seconds.
Where are you unofficially right now?
I don't know. Behind Shaky Dog. That's all I know.
I've tried everything I can think of.
I felt like I should have done better than that.
Watch your video. That's always the trick, is being able to push it that fast. First lap, no warm up, new track.
Right.
It's yeah. Just don't overdo it.
Trying to get the car parallel on throttle past that point. Okay. So you can roll off the brake much sooner. You can probably brake just a little bit, and then like that's the point where the car gets a little bit caught.
Fast. Turn in earlier than you think, because the track, it makes a right and then it kind of keeps gradually going at forward. You'll be fine. You're gonna be fast as fuck.
Fast boy.
I think this is probably the first time you've been to this track. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I've never been here before. Seen it on iRacing a bunch. Watched a bunch of video, but it's not the same as being out there in the car.
You get Nancy.
Yep.
Just calm down.
You calm down. I'm calm. I was way calmer this morning, and look where that got me. Get amped, son.
You have to find the balance. There's a balance. Oh, let's go to Gingerman. At least the truck's a lot closer.
Much better. Attacked the course way better than before. Didn't get turn three right in it at all, but the rest of the track felt really good. Like really good. I'd be surprised if I didn't get significantly faster. it as well.
I did walk it. Just I didn't want to be like that arrogant guy. Just if something goes wrong, I don't want to be. Oh, that's the guy that didn't walk it, and it didn't go well. So
It's like ceremonial. You're getting that piece with the track.
yeah. I was looking for like, you know, is there anything weird? Is there any dirt? Is there, you know, anything I should be avoiding?
Frost.
And there wasn't.
Just getting everything back
Into your mental, you know, subconscious, and just bringing it all back before you go out there. Like, you know the track, but do you know every little detail yet? Like, you always go back out there and like after the first few laps, you just start remembering like the little. Here's a little black strip on the pavement where you want to place the car.
Recap from yesterday. Where were we yesterday? Oh, we were at Summit Point. Oh man. Redemption. So Summit Point in West Virginia, just outside of Washington D.C., is where we were at yesterday. I was driving. First session, I was super tentative, way too conservative. Ended up P11 with the Shaky Dog guys 4 spots ahead of us. So they gained 20 points on us. And then in the afternoon, so I basically spent the whole gap between the morning and the afternoon watching video, trying to psych myself up. All of my teammates, including the Shaky Dog guys who are trying to catch us, came over, gave me a little pep talk, gave me advice, you know, talked to them about how to get your head in the right space. In the afternoon, went out and I feel like I nailed it. Got P3, 4 spots ahead of the Shaky Dog guys, so we gained then another 20 points on them. Yeah, so overall good day. The commute sucked for me, but I didn't drive any of it, so I probably had the best commute of anybody. And it really sucked for Andy. He drove the entire thing for some reason. The car had some weird electrical issues again. So we were going down the freeway, we had the heater on, we had the fans on, we had the lights on, we had the wipers on. And all of a sudden the wipers shut off and then the car just started free revving. Basically the GCU had lost power, so it shut the GCU off. Well, talked to our PDM people overnight, and where we've got it mounted is right where the heater blows in, so we got it pretty hot. And what happens is as it gets too hot, it starts shutting the outputs off. But good to know that it's a temperature thing. We can mitigate it by popping the cover off there and letting that heat get out. Probably was something to do with our issue in Dallas as well now. No, I know. I think we should split it. And I think it would be better if we both drove this track. So I was trying to make him drive yesterday because he kind of got screwed on, like, Memphis.
Yeah,
got screwed.
That's kind of sucky.
And AMP got caught. So it's like all the fun stuff got cut for you.
And this is a very fun track.
Yeah.
And he likes the track. You like the track. Makai and I think we're gonna split it.
We'll get plenty of time here throughout the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him grab it.
I'm not driving the morning.
I get your suit
Why are you being a wuss right now?
because I want to split it. I think it'd be better. I think it'd be more fun. That's why.
Why don't you drive first session and then maybe we split
No,
it?
because then you'll be a dick in the afternoon.
Dick in the afternoon? I don't have my suit anymore. I left it.
Look, he's already got his racing gloves on.
Well, shit, we're gonna lose them.
And that's your fault.
So get on the scooter, go ride the track. Huh?
Too tired. I drove the entire transit last night.
Well, then you're well practiced.
And I'm what?
Well practiced in driving this car. You finally got your shit together.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me drive. That was fun.
How does one person have so much determination? I don't understand. I've not met another person who's harder working and determined and relentless like you, but in a way that's so humble.
Right.
Like, it's just incredible.
I mean, I feel like I have a lot into this car, but it's an embarrassingly small amount of effort compared to what you have into this car. And so, I mean, for years I've been saying it doesn't feel like my car. And it's not. It's ours. It's never getting sold. Even if it becomes a museum piece at some
Right.
point, it's never getting sold.
All right. Let's prep it for next session.
been through Indiana, we've been through Tennessee, been to Texas, we've been to Louisiana, So we've been to Georgia, we've been to West Virginia, and now we're back up in Michigan. So it kind of feels like a lap of America.
We were hoping to do a little bit better on the dry skid pad, but we ended up probably what, like 3rd or 4th, maybe 5th.
No.
Check this out. No, not even
No.
that. 6th, 7th, 10th. We just drove 3,800 miles in this very loud and obnoxious car.
But we made it.
We did overall position 2 and first in class. I feel super exhausted, but excited, definitely excited. Didn't think we'd even finish, so not only did we finish, we were actually in a podium, which is huge in one lap. If you can podium, that's
It's mega.
Yep. And we did P2 right behind the ZR1 with Tomo behind the wheel. So it's Tomo and Steve in a 2019 or 18 ZR1, 17.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's pretty stock, newish ZR1 with like 700 horse and.
Oh man, we beat a whole bunch of GT3s, GT2 RS being driven by Ross Bentley.
But yeah, there was a lot of GT3s, GT2 RSs, McLaren, lots of Corvettes.
Yeah,
I don't know what other.
couple M3s.
Yeah, there's just a very big mix of cars.
Another S2.
Yeah, definitely the most memorable part was probably Gingerman. Kind of a home track, felt good to be back. Last track on the circuit, so just getting there, knew that we were so close. Car just had to make those last few sessions. Yeah, and then getting to drive Gingerman that last session, and I feel like that was probably one of the better drives I've had. I don't know, it felt good to be back there, and I don't know, it was kind of a weird 3 laps. I could keep backing up to like when all of this started and the car, and I mean it's kind of been a lot all finally coming to like real life and then having it happen and stuff, so it was special.
Yeah, that moment's going to be memorable for a long time, I think. When Annie came out after doing that incredible performance. For myself, Summit Point was a lot of fun, and the improvement I was able to make there, I like that. I think that was pretty memorable. The car shutting itself off on the freeway, or the GCU shutting itself off on the freeway, that was one of those heart-stopping moments.
Yes.
That
memorable for sure, not like maybe a positive.
Right.
But I mean that's one lap though, like the ups and downs, and that's what I think at the end, like going through, like you won't experience the high unless you experience the low, right? So one lap is just constantly up and down and up and down. So like it does something to you, and that whole week when you're finally done, it's just you're ready to get off that roller coaster. Yeah, I would just like to thank everyone that helps put on this event. It's a lot of work kind of organizing everything, so thank you everyone from One Lap and Tire Rack for putting it on. And then thanks all the competitors too. I mean, everyone's so helpful. We've been really lucky. We've got to kind of tag along with Brandon and Mackay with the RS, and the Shaky Dog and Tom, and like just all those people we got to run with them. And just having them there, you know, they're a competitor, but they're also like, they're helping us. I mean, they were giving us advice on how to drive tracks, and you know, if we needed help with anything at all, they're there. So I mean, it's just very, very rare to have an event where your competitors are also your people that are pushing you and helping you. So yeah, and thanks to everyone that's just kind of watching and rooting for us. I mean, that's kind of our motivation sometimes to just keep going and make some of those transits a little less annoying, to be able to read the comments and stuff that people leave. So.
Thank you, Paul, for filming this and putting this all together.
Yes. Glad you were able to be there to video it. I was really afraid it was going to be a waste of a week for you. All right, let's go get some food.
Stop filming me on this.
We're going to beat the shit out of it. Right? No? Wrong answer?
No, that's the right answer.
Oh.
My fingers there.
Turn that off. I want to tell him the thing again. I want to tell him the thing.
So,
And action.
Alex is pushing the car backwards. Hold on.
Has that ruined it?
damn it, Megan.